What is up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy Motor City Don P, and we are back here once again. You already know what it is when you see me in front of your TV. One thing is for certain, and three things are for sure. Number one, the Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. Number two, we came to give you stats and not none of that static. Number three, we want to make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And that is perhaps the most important number of them all. And you may be asking yourself, how, Don? How, Mr. P, does one keep the Lions news pragmatic? Well, it's very simple. I'm glad you asked. Thank you. I'd appreciate you asking. I appreciate you taking out the time to care about what I'm talking about. So I'll just let you know right now. All you got to do is smash the like button, subscribe, and share. And once you have shared this stream with your mothers, your brothers, your uncles, your cousins, your sisters, your fathers, your mothers, your brothers, your sisters, your uncles, your cousins, your you name it. You name it. You have indeed cared about these people. What up, though, everybody in the chat? I guess I'm not from Detroit, so I can't say what up, though. I was told that I'm not from Detroit. Let me give y'all a little bit of history on me. Schoolcraft and 7 Mile, Longfellow, Canton, Eastside representing. Okay, that's it. That's all. That's all I got to say. We got some things that we got to get into today. Dan Campbell's talking about the Campbell Gambles. Jared Goff is talking about his performance. There's a lot to unpack about what went on today. Jared Goff talking about his connection with Amon-Ra St. Brown and how he has to be better. But I was told that it was everything else. I was told that it was the play calling. I was told that it was the offensive line. I was told that Jared Goff had no responsibility in the way that game was played. That's what I was told. However, that's not true, and it came from the horse's mouth itself that he has to be better. Let me go ahead and get to your comments before I get into what I'm going to get into. All right. Robert Stevens, what up, though? He said, it is not business as usual where we just sucked so no one gave a poop. Now folks are seeing how the NFL conducts business on the field and the influence of gambling is playing out during the game. All right. That must be a carryover. It wasn't just a Lions game. Sunday was loaded with bad game-changing calls by referees. What was the game-changing call by the referee? The referee actually called a false start on a tush push when it really wasn't supposed to be on them. It was supposed to be on us because Tyleik Williams was lined up in the neutral zone. So the dude hitting his hand was really warranted, and it should have been on the Detroit Lions. So if we're talking about the pass interference, again, this is what I said yesterday, and maybe I don't know if you heard it. A play that happens basically on the last drive of the game when you've scored 9 points all game, I don't want to hear about that play being the difference between you winning and losing because you had 55 minutes, or let's say, what was that? That was the last minute. So you had 58, 59 minutes prior to that call being called or being missed or whatever the case may be, where you could have scored more points, where you could have stopped them from scoring the points that they scored, where you could have affected the game in a manner in which it was conducive for you to win. So if we're talking about the pass interference at the end of the game, no, I'm not going to abide by that. That wasn't a game-changing call. Who had confidence? Who had confidence that watching that offense all game, watching Goff throw inaccurate pass after inaccurate pass on his way to a 37.8 completion percentage? What confidence did you have after watching batted ball after batted ball after batted ball? What confidence did you have that made you believe that the Detroit Lions were going to go down there and score and then go for two and then get the two and walk out of there as 17-16 victors? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. All right. I heard that 80% of bets were on Detroit. I mean, once you get into gambling, sports gambling, and all that other stuff, well, you do open up another can of worms. But I really don't think that particular call had anything to do with anything. That wasn't the reason I said it. You'll see when I get to the article in a second. I was talking about aggressiveness on offense, the gambling, that type of thing. What up, the tactical sport? What up, the Kane Press? He said, I said negative Nancy in the chat. Meanwhile, oh boy. That hit on Goff, high on the one side, low on the other side, would have drew a flag for any top 15 QBs in the league. Yeah, it would have. It would have. But we can always point to particular calls, right? And be like, we missed this, we missed that, whatever the case may be. Just like we did in Kansas City, when everybody wanted to talk about the refs and this, that, and the third thing, the fact of the matter is the Detroit Lions did not play well enough to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. In the game, the Kansas City Chiefs put up 30 points. The Detroit Lions put up 17. And it wasn't because of flags. Right? The Detroit Lions didn't put up enough points to win. Okay, let's say they took a touchdown off the board. Okay, and we got 3 points on that one instead of 7. The score was 30-17. The score would have been 30-21 if you let that thing stand. Because we can't play that, well, if we did this, we would have had the momentum. We don't know. That was the first drive of the game. There was still lots of game to be played. They took 9 minutes off the clock. There was still 51 minutes left. We don't know how the game would have turned out. So that's speculation. What we do know is the product that they put on the field wasn't good enough to win. The product they put on the field against Philly wasn't good enough to win. 9 points is not good enough. 10 points, which is what we would have got if JMO hadn't humped the goalpost, it's not good enough. When the other team scores more points, it's not good enough. There are certain points in the game where you go, okay, that hurt because we were playing our asses off and it was a shootout and we really needed that. We really needed everything against the Philadelphia Eagles. We really did. What we needed most was for our quarterback to be poised and to deliver the ball accurately. And he came up and he gave us 37.8% accuracy. What we needed for him to do was spread the ball around to all of his weapons to keep the defense off balance, and he chose to fixate on Amon-Ra St. Brown. 12 attempts, 12 targets for 2 receptions. So that's what we needed, and that's what we didn't get. You have to be able to play well enough to put the refs out of the situation. Now, if both teams are playing well and then the refs cause some crazy cockamamie stuff, then be upset at the refs. But when one team can't get out of its own way and one team just struggles to produce anything, I don't want to hear about the refs. You just got to play better, bro. You have to play better. Championship caliber teams overcome the referees. Facts. Still love you as always. My dog at Motor City, Don P. What up, though? Here's Johnny. What up, though? For that high-low hit on Goff, if that were Mahomes, they definitely would have called it. Definitely would have called it. For sure. It definitely would have called. I can go down the street and get some hot Cheetos. It ain't nothing but a thing. You know what I'm saying? Once I leave, after this, once I leave, I can go right down the street and get me some hot Cheetos. It's a 2-minute drive. You ain't said nothing but a word. Every loss this year, the O-line got exposed. Facts. If it were Mahomes, they would have erected a cross and had a crucifixion, but that's not why we lost. Somebody might have got ejected. It could have happened. It was perverted to be dough. That's some interesting etymology. All right. Why do y'all think our offense has been exposed? Y'all always pointing fingers at one team. A lot of MS been exposed. Chiefs been exposed, but ain't nobody talking about that because we're not Chiefs fans, and the Chiefs are 5-5, and they may not even make the playoffs. There's nothing to talk about. But you know what? If you go over to a podcast called "How About Those Chiefs," I'm pretty sure he's talking about it. I'm pretty sure he is. He flat out choked. I got you, Johnny. All right. Listen. As I said, there's nothing but accountability for Dan Campbell and Jared Goff. Let's play the schedule game. Okay. There's nothing but accountability for Dan Campbell, Jared Goff. That's all they're going to do is they're going to take accountability. They're going to say that they weren't good enough and they have to be better. Dan Campbell knows he has to be better in managing the game and, fourth down opportunities, whatever the case may be. Jared Goff is going to tell you that he has to play better. The only person that's going to disagree with that is a delusional Lions fan who tells you that 13 of was it 14 of 37 wasn't Jared Goff's fault. The only person that's going to tell you that it wasn't his fault is going to tell you that 37.8% really isn't that bad. If I played a lotto and I win 37.8% of the time, I'm doing really well. We're not playing the lotto, we're playing the football. And 37.8% completion percentage is putrid. It is atrocious. It stinks. It smells like 2 packs of ass. That's what you talking about. Okay? All right. Hashtag if you know, use the hashtag. It stinks. So the only people that are not going to hold Dan Campbell and Jared Goff accountable are people who just love to love everything that this organization does. They love to love this organization. And that's great. I love the organization too. I love the Detroit Lions too. I want my Detroit Lions to get me a Super Bowl. Nobody likes to be a fan of a team that doesn't win. And when we're talking about winning, right now, the Detroit Lions are in that situation. What's that situation? They're in that Buffalo Bills situation. They're in that Baltimore Ravens situation. They're in that Philadelphia Eagles situation. They're in that Kansas City Chiefs situation. They're in that San Francisco 49ers situation where a regular season doesn't matter. It's what you do in the playoffs that matters. That is where the Detroit Lions are right now. We talk about sustained success. I don't give a damn about sustained success. Oh, listen, I'm gonna ask y'all real Detroit fans, okay? Real Detroit fans in here. If the Detroit Red Wings went to the playoffs 25 straight years, which they did, and won 0 Stanley Cups, how much of a damn do you give? How much of a damn do you give? We got 11 Stanley Cup titles. And let's say we hadn't won one since the last time we were in the playoffs. So let's say it was 11 Stanley Cup titles. Then we didn't get to the playoffs from the last one. We didn't get to the playoffs for 5 straight years. And then we rattled off 25 straight years of Stanley Cup playoffs. No Stanley Cup wins. That's 30 years ago, which was the last time we won a Stanley Cup. Do you care that they went 25 straight years in? And sometimes they made it to the Stanley Cup finals, but they never won one. How much do you care? Do you think the Buffalo Bills walk around bragging like we went to 4 straight Super Bowls? You think their fans brag about that? As a fan base, you want to be able to brag about something. This is why when the Detroit Lions were going through their putrid phase, we couldn't say nothing. We couldn't join the conversation. All these other fan bases were talking, and we just had to sit there silently because we were ass. Let me get to your comments. It's easy to please me. Win a Super Bowl. I mean, the Bears still talk about their Super Bowl from 40 years ago. But at least they can talk about a Super Bowl from 40 years ago. Oh, you were at the game last night? I don't think that we're gonna do the schedule game in a bit. Robert Stevens been waiting 55 years. Okay. I love the team. I know the history of the organization, and you can't love organizations that ran 2 Hall of Famers out of town. I feel you. Title Sports says 0. 0 F's given. Love to love you, baby. Out of Dirk at K. I grew up on the number streets, half a mile from Tiger Stadium. I've been a fan for 55 years. Hey, I'm not 55 yet, so I can't make that claim. We just got to show up on all 3 areas. We do. 60. See y'all. So hey, I don't have to tell y'all nothing. I want to win. Facts. Win a Super Bowl. I'll take another 10 years of losing. Why? Because we're losing anyway. Piss is hot right now, but watch them MS do something to piss the fans base off. Hey, the thing is, this isn't the Pistons window. So nobody really expects the Pistons to win anything this year. But you know what? If they do, it's a nice surprise. But if you get to the point where you start looking like a contender to make it out of the East, then people are going to expect wins. and people are going to expect championships. But all of us, I don't, unless you are 20 years old, 25, right? The going to work Pistons was 21 years ago. We've all seen the going to work Pistons. We've all seen the bad boys Pistons. So, I mean, the Pistons winning championships, we ain't starving because we've seen 3 of them. We saw 2 back to back. We're not starving. But this is a football town. They call it hockey town. The NFL is king anywhere it goes, anywhere it is. In those 32 cities, the NFL is king. If you have an NFL team, that's what you care about the most. By far, the most popular sport in the United States of America is football. So that's the point. Jared Colucci, what up, though? Have not seen you for a while. That loss wasn't good, but I've been good. How you been, bro? Pistons are fire right now. Red Wings looking good too. Right? But we would trade all of that for a Lions Super Bowl win. I would trade definitely Tigers. Tigers go 0 and 162. Don't give a damn. I don't like baseball. Y'all know that. If the Pistons went 0 and 82, and then what are how many games did they play 82 games as well? The Red Wings. Okay. I would take all 3 of those teams losing every single game of their season for one Lions Super Bowl win. And would not bat an eye. It would not blink. All right. So it's Detroit versus everybody. You know that, K? This guy, K. What would you call the Cade shoes, though? I don't know. I don't know. Like, a lot of people like the logo. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I have to look at it some more. Pistons got screwed draft after draft by a ping pong ball. That kind of set me off with the NBA. Oh, so that when you that's rigged. That's rigged. You somehow trade away Luka Doncic and somehow get the first pick in the draft because the ping pong ball just bounced your way. Come on, dude. We're supposed to have Cade, Wemby, and Paolo right now in Detroit. I mean, if we had Cade and one of those guys, we may not be around to have the other guy. So if it said Cade and Wemby or Cade and Paolo, that's fine. You might not have all 3 because you'd be too good with 2 of them. But I do think you need to have 2 of them. You know? Been busy with work. I work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, now Sundays. Okay, you are busy. NHL 82 games? Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, okay. We all needed a laugh today, Ron. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, congratulations, Ron. You guys have finally figured out the forward pass as Caleb Williams is the first quarterback in your franchise's history to be about to pass for 4,000 yards. Congratulations. You played yourself. Logo kind of hard, but probably too complex. I mean, I saw a star and a C. I didn't really look at it too deeply. Simple logo. I was like, what is it called? Starcade or something? I don't know if the Lions and the Eagles game was a good one. It would have been good if we flipped the score. So, dude. They're 7-3. Let's talk about the Bears for a second. The Bears lost to the Lamar Jackson-less Baltimore Ravens. And everyone just knows that they're going to beat the Steelers because Aaron ain't playing. Now, Mason Rudolph is bad. But the Chicago Bears lost to the Lamar Jackson-less Baltimore Ravens. Can we really sit here and say that they will definitely beat the Aaron-less Steelers? That's a question. All right. So as I said, we're going to play the schedule game in a second. Bear down, bear in the stress, 11:30. He's somebody else's guy too. That is facts. That is facts. Because Ron is entertaining. You just mad because you don't got your hot Cheetos. I'm glad these are comments, and I ain't saying them. Ping pong balls under the needle have weight. Yeah, we know. Like the NBA, man, is so corrupt. It just don't make no sense. All right, let's play this schedule game, okay? Okay, Lions, Giants. And damn it, that's a 5 a.m. game for me, bro. Hate those games. Lions, Giants, Monday the 24th or Sunday the 23rd of November. I got Monday the 24th because, it's 5 a.m. Does anybody think that there is a chance that the Giants beat the Lions? Now, I'm going to tell you, there is a small chance it happens because they have a very good defensive front. Do I think it will happen? No, I don't. They're going to be at home. Ford Field's going to be going crazy. It might be Jackson Dart. It might be Jameis Winston, but it won't be Russell Wilson. So I think that that's a dub. Now the Lions are 7-4. Okay. Lions, Packers. If you can play their offense the way Philly played their offense, if you can hold their offense to what Philly held their offense to, I believe you win that game. I believe DJ Reed will be back and Terrion Arnold will be back. If you have another defensive performance like you had against Philadelphia, and we know it's possible, right? Now, here's the caveat. Philadelphia's offense is awful. Philadelphia's offense is awful. However, we did have wide receivers being stuck to like glue. We have that, right? Okay. We owe the Packers some get back. Dan Campbell is calling the plays. So all of that, what we had before, confusion, missed assignments, all that stuff that was happening in the offensive line. Well, me and Tate heard one call and everybody else on the line heard another. So we was just doing different stuff and they just ran through the line of scrimmage. I don't think we're going to have that with Dan Campbell. Micah Parsons can be neutralized. The Packers did it. Okay. I think the Lions beat the Packers on Thanksgiving. 8-4. Lions, Cowboys. This is a night game. Was it Sunday Night Football? Sunday Night Football? Okay. The Cowboys became a game that there was a little bit of worry because, again, Minnesota Vikings exposed the interior of your offensive line. Philadelphia Eagles exposed the interior of your offensive line. Now with Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark in the middle, will the Dallas Cowboys prove able to beat you, Detroit Lions? I'm going to say no, for the sake of argument. Now we are at 12-4. Okay. Los Angeles Rams. The only time the Los Angeles Rams have beat the Lions since the trade happened was the very first year that the trade happened. The Lions were trash. They didn't have anybody. However, the Rams do have a pretty good defensive interior. But we don't lose to the Rams. And the last time we did lose to the Rams, it was in LA. But I don't think we lost because LA is such a difficult place to play. We know it's not. You can go over there right now and take it over. I'm going to go Lions win. Okay, and I think I skipped some. Wait. 8-4, 9-4, 10-4, 11-4. Okay. I think I skipped something. I went to 12-4 at some point. Okay. 11-4. Lions Steelers. Everybody thinks that's going to be a dub. 12-4. What are we at? Hold on, man. What am I on right now? Because we got the Vikings again. Okay, that should be 12-4. And then we got the Bears 13-4. Now, here's the thing. Let's say I was wrong about two of those. Let's say we're 11-6. And we don't win the division. Now what do we do? Because remember, at the beginning of the season, where so many people, and I couldn't understand it. So many people were like, I don't care about winning the division as long as we make the playoffs. You know, winning the division is the most surefire way to make the playoffs. Did we know that? We knew that, right? Okay. So winning the division is the most surefire way to make the playoffs. Now, if you're sitting at 11-6, you might not get in. But if you get in, who are you playing? So it's good to win the division to make the playoffs. All right. Before I get to your comments, let me go get myself a drink, and I'll be right back. I'm a bit parched. been muted so long, y'all ain't tell me nothing. Okay. I thought I unmuted myself. Okay, we're good now. Dallas is Thursday night. Yep, I got that now. I gotta do a better job at that, bro. I gotta do a better job. Yeah, I know. I'm muted. I'm muted. I'm muted. Okay. Now, what I was saying when I was laughing hysterically was he said it's time to move on from golf. Blah 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 blah. I said that's awesome. Who are you going to get? I've heard that we could get Kyler Murray for the low. Now you say Anthony Richardson. Who's down? You know what? Dolo, that's a great point. I'm so down for Anthony Richardson. The same way I was down for Jalen Milroe to come in here and be our tush push merchant. When it's 4th and 1 and we're going to run the tush push, just like the Eagles, everybody knows we're going to do it. You bring in Anthony Richardson, you give him a veteran's minimum contract, which you can't. But I think there's some way that you could keep Indianapolis on the hook for his contract. You bring him in here and you put him under center on 4th downs, and that's his only role in the team. On 4th down, that's it. Hell, you could give him 2 downs, 3rd and 1 and 4th and short. 3rd and 1 and 4th and inches. You give him 2 tries to get first down on the tush push. I got it now. I'm good now. Richardson is good to me as well as a tush push merchant. As an NFL quarterback, you are mistaken. That is why he doesn't have a job right now. What I was saying, I was just answering your comments. I was saying, yes, you could lose to the Giants. I was wondering why someone thought that we would lose to the who is it? The Steelers. Because if Aaron got a broken wrist, I don't know if he plays again, if it's truly broken. So why would we lose to the Steelers and Mason Rudolph? How did it work out for Mason Rudolph playing against us with the Titans? I do. I gotta stop doing. It's my bad. It's my bad. I thought I was unmuted. My bad. Pause. 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 You know what I'm saying? I know I got a lady that like him. You know what I'm talking about. But that's a pause. That's a pause for you, my brother. That is a pause. Hell no. Oh my goodness. Milroe is also not playing as he's on the bench for the Seattle Seahawks. Sanders could be available from Cleveland. Who can be coached? Sanders? So again, what is the reason that we believe that we're going to lose to the Steelers? I don't understand that one. Especially with Kirby hopefully being back by that time. He is Aaron's daddy, so y'all do me a favor. Next time I go, like, get a drink or something, be like, hey, Make sure you unmute yourself. That's the first comment that I want to see. Just to remind me. No, because we're talking about Drew Allard, the quarterback of Penn State. What's their record? I don't know anything about Lenora Sellers. I'll tell you that much. But if it's not somebody that you can get in the late round, they're not going to trade any draft capital to get rid of Goff. Because as they've said, it is much harder. It's much easier to get bad at quarterback than it is to get better. So they're not going to trade anybody. So we're talking about these college guys. I don't know, bro. I mean, if you're a can't miss prospect, then you're not going to be available for the Lions. And if you're not a can't miss prospect and you're available for the Lions where they're picking, well, they're not going to pick in the first round this quarterback. You know why? Because we need offensive line help. That's what you need. I don't even know that he's good. I mean, if he's good and he's able to be better than what we currently have, then I would take Shedeur. But I don't. In the NFL, is he good? I don't know. I know he's with the Browns, so the perception is the Browns are browning, and he should be starting and all this other stuff. I don't know, man. I would do that. I would put Kyler on Goff's shoulders. No. You got to put Goff on Kyler's shoulders because Kyler has to be the legs. Kyler has to be the legs, and then Goff can be the arm. And I think we got a good quarterback. My comment thing, I can't control that. December, hard to see the failures to come is. Like I know. I'm bad. Sit and that's what I'm saying. If you're sitting someone behind Goff, what round are you drafting him in? Brad Holmes is going to draft him in the third round because he likes to throw away third round picks. Who? Kyle Allen? Or was it like a torn ACL or something? Yeah, it would be like 6th round. I don't know. Y'all wanted me to draft a quarterback. I got one in the 6th round. I don't know. Is that good enough? 6th round. Tom Brady was drafted in the 6th round. I don't know. Okay, Brad. Okay, Brad. Late round. Who's Brad Holmes Jr.? Not tactical. He calls him Melvin. If Goff had some legs, he'd still be in LA. I don't know. It was rumored that Goff gave McVay's fiance some leg, and that's what the whole problem was. I haven't even got started looking into college football at all. And it's been nice. It's been nice, but now the Lions are kind of forcing my hand a little bit. Broken ankle? Hendon Hooker is available. I heard that he was somewhere where he was wanted, and 3 weeks later got cut. I guess they found out what the Lions already knew, that he's not going to be a quarterback in the NFL. Son of John Holmes. All right, you know what we do on this show, boy. We go get the post, boy. Mailbag, mailbag. What you want to do? What you want to do when they reading you? Mailbag, mailbag. Snick, mailbag. Get your mailbag questions in. Bask in it. All right, let me get the mailbag questions in. Don't ask me no questions about the draft because I am not paying attention just yet. We got a stretch run, playoff run that we on right now, and that's what we worried about. We are not focusing on the draft. This is not the Lions of old. So I do not know. We need another running back round one. Facts. No, it's not. I don't want a running QB just for the sake of having a running QB. I would love a mobile QB, a quick, quality mobile QB, not someone who takes themselves out of a game because they're tired. Are you talking about Anthony Richardson? I'm telling you, Tush Push Merchant. Oh yeah, it bit him in Goff's ass. Pause, because he sacked Goff. But you know, guys, he tried. He tried. You know, he tried to give a fourth and a fifth for Jalen Phillips, and Miami was like, "How about 40 G's?" Miami was like, "What you got on that third round pick though? What that third round pick do? Huh? Let me see it. What the third round pick do? Huh, Brad?" And Brad was like, third round, you say? third, 2028? You take a 2028 third rounder? No, no. I ain't got nothing for the next couple years. I'm just saying, 2028? No, no. I can't interest you in that? No? Okay. All right. All right. David Montgomery is a fine RB and blocker. OQB. Name his backup right now. Kyle Allen. Mailbag, I'm still off the way this season is turning out. What's the one thing that could turn things around? Um, the one thing that could turn things around is understanding how to protect Goff from interior pressure, how to get the ball out quicker, how to move the pocket so that he's not affected by this pressure. Um, because really, I think the play calling and the way that Dan is balanced and things of this nature, I think that's good for the team. Um, this game was on Goff. You know, it wasn't on play calling. 37.8% is not going to cut it. And for those of you asking for Anthony Richardson, that's what you're going to get every game. That's what you're going to get every game. 37.8%. His season high going to be like 52%. That's what you're going to get. We could have got Draymond Jones. We could have got a lot of people that got moved, but we didn't get them. Where'd I hear what? Honestly, why don't we pick up a free agent linebacker and just have him play like Clay Matthews and rush him like 80% of the time as an edge? Um, they had James Houston, which they pretty much were trying to do that with, but they wanted him to drop back in coverage instead of just being a rush backer. How many sacks did James Houston have this year? He's doing something over there. Isaiah Simmons, wow. That's who I wanted over Jeffrey Namumbo or Hell No Kuda. What up, though, Lisa DiLorenzo? After that performance, Goff owes all us fans either A, nudes of his wife, or B, I am not reading that part. We won't beat anyone with a decent defensive line until we get the middle of the O line sorted out. I think there's things that you can do. Like I said, move in the pocket, put them on some boot action, some rollouts, just to get them away from the interior rush. And I don't think you have to do it for the entire game. I just think you have to do it enough so that they know that it's a threat, and they have to reevaluate how they pressure. You know. Oh, where did I hear they tried? I think it was like Diana Rossini or somebody said that he offered um a fourth or and a fifth. But they won't sign him. You know, they just won't. And the crazy thing is, that's the kind of player everyone says that they love, but when it's time to sign them, where are they? Where are the signings at? That dude can play linebacker and safety. I don't mean like I don't mean like a long boot. Okay, I'm talking about 2-3 steps away from the interior. That's what I'm talking about. You know, when you do a play action pass, all right, you generally trail off to the left or the right. So he knows how to boot out. He knows how to roll out. And I'm not saying have him throwing on the run. I'm just saying reset the pocket slightly away from where the rush is coming. Because if you do that, then if they're rushing straight up the middle, Goff doesn't have the pressure in his face. And he has an extra half a second to stand in there and make the throw. This is what I'm saying. So I'm not saying do anything drastically out of his wheelhouse. Yep. We do need a center in the first round, but we may already have our center with Tate Ratledge, which that's what they drafted him for. If Jeffrey Namumbo or Hell Kuda is still getting um opportunities, Isaiah Simmons should too. He has to go to Panay's side. Yeah, he has to go to Panay's side. I mean, and then once he does that, you have Max Protect. So whichever side he boots to, then he'll have Monty over there to pick up the blitzer coming off the edge. It's just a little bit of buying him a half a second to throw the football. Would you have 2 wide receivers block interior line? Why use an injured now CB as a backer? I don't get that one. Injured now CB as a backer. Maybe Frazier is our savior. Yeah, that rhymes. Maybe Frazier is our savior. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Go Frazier. Then we know every time Monty come in, it's a pass. They don't run Monty that much, so we screwed ourselves. No, you would just you'd have to look. Dan Campbell is gonna get that situation more balanced. He already said that. He said that before he took over play calling. Someone asked him, and he said, "Yeah, I would like to see that situation be more balanced." Okay, so and even if you have Gibbs out there, it's a chip, right? It's not a blitz pickup. It's not a guy screaming down at your face, and you have to stand in there and hit him, right? If you move the pocket, then it's just a chip, right? You keep him in there, chip. Actually, he chips on his way out into the route, so now he's wide open in the flat. You know, there's a lot of stuff that you can do off of moving the pocket. And that may be something that they have to do if they can't protect on the interior of the offensive line. You don't just stand in there and get your quarterback killed. No, he's going to have to do that in the offseason. It's too if they were giving up on the season, then yes. But no one's giving up on the season. We're 6-4. He's gonna have to do it in the offseason. He's gonna have to do it all through offseason, training camp, mini camp, all that stuff. At this point in the season, to put a rookie in there who's been playing right guard and just throw him in at center, that's just the type of thing that you do when you have no hope for the season and you have no aspiration. They still aspire to make the playoffs and make and win the Super Bowl. That's their aspirations right now. You know, now if after the next 2 games you're sitting at 6-6, and you're like, we lose one more game, we're cooked. You know, then maybe there's something to talk about. But other than that, nah, I do not agree with that. All right, Robert Stevens, we shall holler at you. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here myself, y'all. Got some things I got to do. So I appreciate everyone for hanging out, stopping in for a drink and conversation. I didn't even get to my article, but that's cool because hey, a lot of chat engagement today. And that's what we want. We don't ask for super chats and things of that nature. They're nice, you know, but I would rather sit up here and have a conversation with you guys and let you be heard. Unless you're a Bears fan or a Vikings fan or a Packers fan, then you need to super chat to have anything read. No. All right, y'all. Once again, the Motor City Cats R&D back at it. We came to give you stats, not none of that Saturday. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And we're out. Peace.